Now let's take a look on how do we apply the dimensions to our multi-view drawings. So I want to make sure I'm on the correct layer for dimensions. And I have my dimension style set up, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the annotate ribbon so that I can see most of these dimensions. Now, you'll see here this is the current style that you're in, and this is using the current layers and colors and everything. You have what's called a multiple dimension single command session, quick dimension basically is what that one is. You have a straight linear dimension, and then you have a drop down that gives you different options. So we have linear, aligned, angular, the arc length, radius, diameter, a jog, which is a large arc, and then an ordinate. So let's work off just linear real quick. So a linear dimension, anything between 2 points. So when you're applying dimensions to drawings, the first thing you have to do is think about what is the location of the dimension. So what has to be dimensioned? And then placing them relative to the drawing so that they're not cluttered, they're not crossing over other dimensions or other notes. So let's take the front view by itself for now. A lot of this is going to be based on things you might learn in your drafting fundamentals class on dimensioning principles. But in this particular case, the top view really isn't very descriptive. It looks like a box with some lines stuck in it. So probably nothing will get dimensioned in that top view. So the front view, the reason I'm choosing this is I can go from this end point to this end point, and I can tell there's a change in the shape. And then I can go out so far from the object and place the dimension. And since I'm using my grid, I'm going to go a 1/2 inch, which is not bad. That gives lots of space. So all I did was place the dimension. I didn't have to worry about placing text or the arrowheads or anything. It automatically picked that. It left the space that we wanted. It drew both the arrowheads and the text inside, and that's exactly how we'd like for that to look. So make sure your object snaps are turned on. That way you can go directly from point to point. Now I'm going to zoom in just so we can really look at this a little closer as I'm picking these points. These are the only two views that are going to get dimensions, so we want those to be a little bit larger. Now, the next dimension for that one may be showing the opening that's here. So I got to know the size of that opening. Well, I can go back and do another linear, or we have a tool called continue. The continue tool says that if I just start from the last point that I just came from, all I got to do is pick the second point. It automatically picks the first point for you and places the dimension in line with the first one. That is very important in mechanical drawings and architectural drawings because the manufacturer wants to be able to go from point to point to point as they're looking at the drawings. Now we could go one more time. However, in most common manufacturing practices, you wouldn't do that because every time you have a dimension and continue, you're actually building up a tolerance. So if something goes wrong on the first cut, then that just increases the likelihood of the second cut being off, then the third cut would be off. So I'm not going to do continue again at this point. So I just hit escape. What I might do is an overall dimension, and there's this thing called baseline. And if you recall back to where we set up our dimension style, we left a particular spacing amount for baseline, and that's where this tool works. So when I grab baseline, it'll try to pick from the first point that I was on. Now that may not be the point I want. So you'll notice, even with continue, that you have an option to go down here and say select and pick the dimension that you want it to be from. So I could pick this first line, then it'll automatically let me pick the second. And the space between the two lines of dimensions is the space that we built into our dimension style. And again, you can keep going with baseline over and over and over again. If you're done, you just hit escape. So another linear, we might want to locate where's this angle. Is it coming from the bottom to the top, or is it from side to side? Now again, sometimes that is just based on the object and its position. You might have to cut it coming from the top. So we're going to go from the back edge to that point. So that's a location dimension. Since my grid is on, it makes it nice to snap to a point. That way this dimension is also in line with these two dimensions. If I don't use my grid, if you'll notice, I have also got this tracking device with my object snap running. So if I bring this up and move over and grab the object snap, I'm not selecting. What it's doing is it's tracking those points together. It'll automatically place on them. Now we can go back, we can look at what's called the angular dimension. Angular, so that I can pick two lines and provide the angle distance between those two lines. Now this quick dimension, it says select the geometry dimension. So let's just say I want the height of the object. Then I can place that dimension and it automatically picked the two endpoints for me. So quick dimension is really nice if you know that you're going to be able to select like a straight line. Now if I wanted to dimension from this edge to this edge, and I did quick dimension, it wouldn't know how to do that. All it can do is pick horizontally and vertically. So that might be a place where I might use baseline again and say, let me select, I want to go from this point all the way to this point. And it automatically left the space between the two, and all I had to do is pick the first point and second point, or pick the second point after I had selected the first line. Now if there were holes in this particular drawing, so let's just go back in and I will draw a circle. Let's just say we have a hole that's diameter 0.25. Very small. Now of course I'd need to draw the hidden lines in the other views, but just for simplification here, go back to my annotate. Now depending on whether or not I set up my dimension style with the line or I'm going to use this center mark. So here's the center mark. All it's going to ask me to do with that center mark is pick the circle, and it'll automatically draw that. Now if I don't use the center mark and I use my diameter or my radius dimension, when would you use either of those? A radius is anytime you have an arc less than a full circle, then you have to dimension it with the radius, and it's automatically going to put the R in front of the dimension size. Diameter is anytime you have a full circle. So when you have something with diameter, it automatically puts the diameter symbol in front of the dimension. So this is a full circle, has to be a diameter. So I select the circle or the object, and then I can drag that dimension out and place it. It automatically drew the mark, it drew the leader line, and then it placed the text, and there's your dimension symbol. So I don't have to worry about putting in special symbols like %%C. Now if that dimension only went, or that hole only went in a ½ inch or 2 inches into the part, then I would edit that text and I could add more symbols after the text. Those are your primary dimension tools that you're going to use. Again, aligned only selects object distances between 2 points on that aligned angle. Most everything ends up being linear, so a horizontal or a vertical X or Y. So if I had to do an aligned and I want to know the full distance, so let's say the hypotenuse of this line, I would pick the first point and second point, and that would actually tell me the true length of that particular edge at that 45-degree angle. But in most cases, that's not going to be a dimension on your drawing. So that's just the basics, the overall dimensioning. There's a lot of rules that we'll have to apply, but each drawing is different. So you have to take the drawing into consideration and then figure out which rules apply. But again, you always want to make sure the smaller dimensions of size are done first, and they're the closest to the object, and then larger dimensions overalls are done after. You want to make sure that they're not cluttered, and then we'll talk about placing dimensions between our views, or which view would have the dimensions. So instead of dimensioning the one at the top where you can't tell what's going on here in the center, we dimension that in the front. So some of those are things that it just takes time, takes practice, really going through the design principles and rules of dimensioning to get a good feel on where to place those. But those are the tools that you're going to be using to add your dimensions to your drawing.